Hello and welcome back to another episode. I'm Minion J on behalf of the Disgruntled Octopus. Hello and welcome. So today we're actually going to do a little bit of pish-posh mixed match of everything. I don't know if that's a word or I've just made it up. But anyway, we're going that way. We did have a lot of positive feedback regards to Salem Cam. So today we've got some more of that. So we've actually had a breach. Went out the back to do something, and lo and behold, the footage running now is pretty much what I did. I was able to acquire him, bring him back inside before he did any damage to the local birds or the wildlife. We did have some galahs and some rosellas, which are like those kind of parrots that I showed yesterday. Just sitting maybe 5 or 10 meters away from him, and just Salem was laying on the grass watching them. No doubt probably plotting. So I'm pretty sure you can watch the video here. So today I'm actually going to piggyback off the back of the Geelong Flippers video. I watched it this morning when I got up at 5 o'clock. Because that's what I do. I'm a bit of a sadist in that respect. So what I normally do is I normally wake up at 5 a.m, do all my postage, do all my shipping. If I've got time left over, I'll actually start doing some more listings. And primarily what that does, tonight I will test a whole bunch of Skylanders that came in today. I'll have them ready on the table, then I'll update the variation listings tomorrow. And that's generally what my routine is. Or alternatively, when I've got products coming in that are Skylanders, I normally photograph them in the dying light as what we've got now, and what I'll do is upload them in the morning. So I think I've said it before, I don't normally list to a specific someone put in the comment section how to pronounce that right, money goal or listing goal. I just find that my store, ticks over tickety-boo from a constant activity sense. So don't get into, don't, please, by all means, don't take it for gospel. If you want to do X amount of listings a day, if you want to do X amount of dollars a day, work what works best for you and your store. So realistically, what you see on YouTube, what you see people talking about on Facebook groups, all those different things is what works for them. So by all means, choose your own adventure and go from that way. That's what works for me, and I'm finding that I'm getting results for it. But that, like I've spoken at length before about variation listings, other people have variation listing issues. They don't have the traction and they don't get any sales. So it's really, really, really depending on what you want to do. So piggybacking on Tori's video this morning, this is a Lego set, right? So this is the the Chinese New Year dragon. I'm just going to call it a dragon because it's the auspicious dragon. I'm not too sure if that's pronounced correctly, so I'm just going to call it the dragon. So this is a dragon, right? And this is a Funko Pop. So you've probably heard already, if you're a new reseller, what you'll probably find is that a lot of people talk about Funko Pop, they're completely trash. yes, they are. Majority are trash. The market has crashed for them for the most part. So by all means, don't go out. Do a price comp. Obviously, if you've come across a rare character, go that way. But for the majority is that Funko Pops are complete trash, and they need to be pristine in box, right? So you probably will find a lot of people talk about the Funko community. They basically want these things in pristine condition. This one's currently in a soft protector, which means it's a soft plastic, and you've also got the hard protectors, which is when you tap them, they're solid plastic. So you heard a lot from the Funko community saying that notorious, they want box condition and all these different things. I'm here to tell you now, off the back of Tori's video, being a Lego seller for for the years and years and years that I have been one, the biggest issues that I've ran into in regards to collectors and people wanting box conditions and pristine is Lego sets. The story found out this morning. So what I'm going to do today is actually try and keep it as quickly as possible. I'm going to move out of the way. We're going to run a world's worst thrifting video because apparently you want more thrifting content. So I've met Peachy's challenge and I'll put some thrifting video up there. So what this is here, like I said, it's got very, very, very minor box damage. The one that Tori sold had holes in it, all these different things. Anything that's not obscenely valuable or has been retired for a very long time, what I'm saying is that maybe your first edition UCS, like your Millennium Falcon, which is about 10, 15 grand, those kind of things, they're perfectly fine to have box condition issues and all those different things. People, and I have mentioned before about that lady that left me negative feedback when I when I fell for her scam per se. it's always Lego buys. I can tell you right now, Lego buys are notorious for box condition. This one has very minor box damage in the sense it's got creases and it's got some edging issues you can't really see here. But from a box collector's perspective, that's on me. You can probably, I don't know if you can actually see it here, but it's around there, right? So what I would strongly suggest, if you come across a Lego set in the wild or in thrifting or RA and all those different things, if it's got minor box imperfections, and I'm talking about minor, so you might actually, you can't really see here, but there's some creases down here. There's a crease on the back, and some creases here as well. I would sell them on Facebook Marketplace, especially if you're in a populated area like Geelong, or you're in Canberra, or you're in Melbourne, or Brisbane, or something like that. Sell them on Facebook Marketplace. You'll probably get close to eBay value. So these ones here I normally list for about $170 on eBay. I've got them listed for $160 on Facebook Marketplace, and this is the last one that I have left in stock at the moment. So the pristine condition boxes I keep, and I probably will keep for future years because I could see the set appreciating from my previous experience. But choose your own adventure, don't go out and fork out. But like I was saying before, is that you'd be very, very, very careful when you use Lego boxes, because people aren't happy. And what Tori found is that they don't read the description. So, for case in point, through what Tori was saying, he had some holes in these different things. I was listening to his video this morning when I was doing my eBay stuff at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I don't necessarily know what he showed on the screen or all these different things. However, what you need to do, and this is something for a tip for new resellers or someone that's actually, moving into, I suppose, collectible markets, or Funko Pops, or or Lego, all these different things. So what you want to do is you want to take a clear photo of obviously the front of the box. Your second photo needs to be the biggest blemish. So if there's a hole in the back, or there's the biggest one on this one's probably those lines there you can't really see. So the next photo will be that. Then you systematically work your way around the box as from photo 2. So photo 1 is obviously the thing like this. It looks so much better behind it. Then you work your way around with the damage. That goes for everything, right? So with this Funko Pop, for example, this one's in pretty good nick, unless I drop it. So what you would do is you would take a photo, preferably sitting on a tabletop, and I know it's angled different. So take a photo at the front, then systematically work your way around the box, and if there is a minor blemish, if you think, there's no one's going to worry about that, they will worry about it. I can't stress this enough. I'm telling you, I've been selling Lego quite heavily since 2014. My main issues were from cheap sets. Ones that you probably blink an eyelid, common as mud, probably sell for retail price if you got them cheap enough. They are the issue, people. The more expensive the item is, and this is only from my personal preference, personal perspective, it's legitimate, is that the higher dollar value. Obviously, you need to do your research and go from that way. However, they cause you less problems in the long run. All my negative feedback, let's say 10, I think all but 1 or 2 that I've been able to remove. So like I said, in the last 10 years, I've been able to get rid of a lot of negative feedback just through following eBay policies, following eBay standards. If it's legitimate, and I have said before, I will leave it there. And I'll always reply to the negative feedback or the neutral feedback. I've got a neutral feedback on my Lego account at the moment. I'll reply, say, hey, look, if it's something that I've legitimately done, I'll reply saying, hey, look, this is not good enough. I, take full responsibility. I'll make sure I ship better in future, or, I'll be very mindful of X, whatever it is. That's taking a negative opportunity. Instead of, putting people on full blast, is what I see normally in people's negative feedbacks when they're responding. Just use it as an opportunity, as a learning opportunity to say, hey, look, you're not happy with the packaging? Yep, no worries. I fully understand where you're coming from. I've changed my postage policies, or my shipping policies, or my shipping style, or whatever you do. You don't necessarily need to. You just bullshit. So, like if you've got 100 Lego sets and one comes through smashed up, they leave a negative feedback, you're not going to change your whole postage system for that one outlier. You would reply to that negative feedback, especially if eBay can't remove it, and go from that way. on the topic of neutral feedback and negative feedback, I have heard people say if you respond to the comments, the negative feedback or the neutral feedback, eBay won't remove them. That's complete BS. I can tell you right now, I respond to 100% of my feedback. If they're neutral or negative, I do that as a case in point to do straight up. Then what I do then is once I've replied, depending on the reasoning for the negative and neutral feedback, if it's a complete BS, neutral or a negative, I will write words to effect to saying, hey, look, this person, for example, the Skylander the other day, I would have written saying, hey, look, the Skylander arrived perfectly fine. The buyer has, systematic issues of, feedback extortion, all these different things. Go away, shoo, I've got a bug in my garage. I've reached out to, I've contacted eBay to report the buyer. That's what you need to do. So if that eBay feedback sticks, or not in this case because he didn't leave a negative feedback. But if it sticks, other buyers can go from that way. And what I'll normally do as well is I'll actually put the buyer's username in the response, because after a certain period of time, that negative feedback, the buyer's details disappear. Then you can't see who it is. So especially when you go from sea of red. So what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't address them personally. I wouldn't call them Mr. Smith or John Smith, especially if their eBay ID was disgruntled octopus or something along to that. That's generic enough that you're not going to track it down to a particular person, like the one with the Skylander the other day. But obviously if it's John Smith 123, I probably wouldn't put that, obviously, for obvious reasons, even though you probably could because it's a username. But going back to the Lego things, this relates to everything, right? So not only collectibles, it goes for clothing, goes for anything you can do. So, for Skylanders, if I was selling a dodgy, broken Skylander, for like this one, for example, so he's missing his leaf sword or whatever. There we go. He's missing his leaf sword. So what I would do, I would do it like that. Then I would basically go draw back in on that little piece being missing there. But like I was saying, is every photo after the first one for your listing, I'm competing with an aircraft and a bird and something else at the moment and a bug. By all means, like I say, is you need to have that second photo as the blemishes or issue or item damage. Regardless if you think it's not an issue or very small or very minor, it's going to be very major to someone, and burying it in photo 23 out of 24 is not going to work, not going to help your cause. Like Tori was saying today, he did have it in the description. I'm pretty sure he said he had it in the title description as well. People don't read. They go off the photos. They look at the first photo. So if you had a majority of Lego, if you type in Lego and look at all the boxes, a lot of them are stock photos. Don't use stock photos. I use photo room, so if you come across my listings, they probably do look like stock photos, but a majority. I used to use stock photos religiously. I've moved away to actual photos now that I've got photo room to make them look snazzy. But you'll see a lot of stock photos. If not, you'll see a lot of photos like this: front, back, sides, top, bottom, all these different things. Like I was saying, and I'm going to repeat myself one last time before I wrap this video up. You need to use that second photo and every subsequent photo to show the blemishes and go from that way. Like this box is quite minor to me, from someone that's going to build it, someone for Chinese New Year, someone wants to enjoy the Lego set built. Lego is quite seen as an investment vehicle for some reason. I'm not too sure why. So people want those box conditions mint. I have seen people, and I don't have any at the moment, have like cling wrap. They wrap their Lego sets in cling wrap, all those different things. So like I was saying, is that you want to give the buyer I suppose the lowdown of the condition of the item. Just don't get walked over. So that I really have little sympathy for people that try and hide blemishes or damage in the later photos. Not saying that Tori did that, all those different things, or people in his comment section have. However, you just need to be very mindful of the fact is that put as a second photo and work your way through it. Like if this box had 10 different blemishes, for example, or had holes, and there goes the Funko Pop is worth less. If it had holes and don't worry, it's mine, so it's not going to go anywhere. had holes and lines and crushes and all these different things. Work out what the worst box is, what the worst one is. Then, like I said, systematically work your way through and go around that. Same with books, like dropping everything today. So this is one of the Warhammer books. I had another 3 sell today, so I will update the Japan challenge in the next couple of days. You probably can't see, but there is like a bit of a discrepancy on this one. So my first photo was the front of the book, then the second photo was directly to be that line there. Then obviously my work way around the book from that way. So that's the only blemish on that book, is that little bit of spine damage there. So front, spine damage, back, around, then you take your photos, your pages, and all these different things. So be very, very, very mindful is that it is a lot easier to get away from nightmare buyers if you're not a nightmare seller. But that's enough for today. I need to wrap this video up. I need to get it production, I need to get post. I need to put little editing bits in there, and we'll see you next time. If you haven't already, please comment, subscribe, and share. And we may see you tomorrow. Have a good night.